Why is it the simple things that are so simple you don't think about? I had one of the members on one of my message boards that I belong to, well, how come you don't just switch the wires around on the pot to make this a conventional, the way it's supposed to be? Duh. I don't know why I wasn't. I just guess I just wasn't thinking, but now it's correct. See, I'm not into electron. I know enough about electronics and electrical things to get me into trouble. But I should have known that. All I do is switch it around, because you're taking the resistance, because basically there's a resistance winding in there, and if you hook it up backwards, now instead of the low being over here, it's over here, or vice versa. So anyway, thanks a lot. Thanks for waking me up, giving me a wake-up call. But yeah, it's the way it should be now. But I'm still going to put a label on here, so that I want to put some marks on here, on a label with marks, so that I can. Of course, I got the readout. Why do I really don't need that. Well, maybe I won't put anything on there. Anyway, I started with just basically two. They're a little I wanted them a little bit flimsy, but and they are. And now they're V-blocks, and I can just put a rubber band around to pull the whatever stick that I'm putting in there. Take this one out and put the smaller one in here for this spool. Put a rubber band around it and hold it in place. I do want to put, basically it's a shock absorber, and basically all that's going to be is I'm just going to put a screw in here with some string over and to a like a fishing weight, and that'll hang on the wire as it's going in, and it'll be like a shock absorber. Depending on how big a weight that I put on it, probably put maybe an ounce or less on it, and let it dangle here. It'll ride the wire. And the reason I'd have a string so it wouldn't come over here, and so I'd make it so that the string is about yay long, so it would hang in the middle and just go up and down to be the shock absorber for the wire. And I started thinking about the vacuum impregnation chamber. That's going to be my next little build for this, because once I get a coil wound, it has to be either impregnated with oil or wax, and I'm going to use wax. That's recommended anyway. And I think for the chamber, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go shopping for a nice heavy glass, and I'm going to make a vacuum lid to go on top of the glass, a tumbler, glass tumbler, and I'll put a vacuum gauge in that lid and a thermometer, although I may not need a thermometer, because I was thinking about buying just a little hot plate that I can adjust the temperature, because I want to keep it at 180, the wax in there. And I have a vacuum pump, so I don't need to buy a vacuum pump. So the only thing I need to get going and get myself a vacuum gauge, though. I need to order a vacuum gauge and then a thermometer. I'm just going to use a meat thermometer, the ones with the long, the stake that you shove in the. I'm just going to use that. I'm going to put that in the top of that, even though I really don't need it. That way I can keep an eye on it. And I wanted to go with glass so I can see the air bubbles coming out of the coil as I'm not saying that I'm going to get that far. Maybe I won't get that far. But, as far as winding, maybe I'll give up. I doubt it. I won't be happy until I get one wound, at least one, just to say that I did it. So, and that's this whole project is the only reason I'm doing it is just because I wanted to. I wanted to see if I could do it. And so, anyway, thanks for waking me up on that little speed pot. Basically, it's just those speed pots. All they are is a variable resistor. Basically, they only allow so much current. Or, I mean, allow the current to go through. If I understand it right. So anyway, when I go online to order the vacuum gauge, I think I'm going to get another one of these motors. I really like this motor. It's a little loud, but it's not that bad. I got to make sure I keep an eye on my. I don't want to run that my key off up against anything and strip out the threads. So, but that's amazing how slow that goes. But yeah, it's supposed to be 2,000 per revolution according to the calculations. So I'm up to 12,200 and something wraps. The primary's only got, that has a lot less wraps, and that's why I'll probably be doing that by hand. So the wire will come in here, and I'm going to have to, I'll probably have to stand on the other side, and then you know, maybe I should put another spool over here for the primary. The secondary is the one that's going to take thousands of wraps. I think it's like, I don't know if it was 12,000. I'd have to look in the book. Oh, I do have the book out here. I didn't know if I had the book out here. It's the SL, which is supposed to be the easiest one. Not too far. The Sidewinder. There, SL construction. And in the beginning of it, it tells me I can't do this with one hand holding the camera. There we go. This is what I was looking for. 12,500 turns of number 44. And the primary is only 360 turns. So that's why at 360 I'll just do it by hand. Otherwise you have to go and change the gear ratio, and it would be, this gear would shrink way down and this one would get much bigger in here, because it would have to increase the speed of that quite a bit. So anyway, just thought I'd show you that I did get it fixed. So, and plus I did get started on the uprights here and wire feed in. Basically, the only thing left to do on this is I did want to make an attachment to rub on, just in case I needed a little more tension, something that I could adjust. Something I could adjust against it. I'll have to think about that. Could have something coming here on the side, like a plunger and a spring to push on it. I kind of hate to go here, because if it would slip off, it would damage those wires as they're coming off. Although there's drag on the, because I'm not going to allow the dowel to turn, so there is some drag there. Maybe I'll just have to try it and see. Right, well, that's it for now. Catch you guys later. If you got any other suggestions, shoot them at me. Because I'm not a expert. This is all new territory for me. Like I say, I know enough about electronics and electric things to get me into trouble. So until next time, catch you later.